Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uliana, and I'm excited to present about how my childhood slime making business strongly connects to what I've learned from Knowledge Matters, virtual business simulation, and fashion, and how it has helped me learn how to manage a small business. But to start off, I'd like to tell you a little more about myself and in my journey through competing in virtual business challenges. My name is Uliana, and I'm currently a sophomore at Grand Oaks High School. I've been a dedicated DECA member for the past 2 years, where I qualified for state competition and competed in multiple virtual business challenges. However, ever since I was young, I had a passion for anything art related, including dance, music, craft making, and painting. So, whenever 7-year-old me wanted to earn some extra money, it made sense to sell my crafts for a profit, including the most trending and wanted item at the time slime. Through years of small craft and slime making, I quickly realized that it wasn't just a hobby, and something that required real business skills. So whenever my advisor encouraged me to compete in virtual business challenges, I chose fashion because fashion directly connects to what I learned from my virtual business in my childhood because it both focuses on creativity. And I knew that fashion would go well with my creativity expression and it would really help me succeed because I had experiences in management and design. But how does Virtual Business Fashion Challenge connect to slime, you may ask? Actually, it has a lot of similarities. When running a business in slime, I had to make sure that all of my trends were aligned with what people were actually wanting to buy and that my resources could help me make those products. For example, during summer, I'll make more summery colors or fun, bright colors to make sure that people actually wanted to buy them, and I had enough resources for that. Because overstocking, obviously, it reduces my capital and overall makes it inflexible. But if I predicted a trend at the right time, it would make me earn more profit and overall increase my sales. And same thing in virtual business, I had to manage my store to make sure I had the right amount of products and that people were coming in and buying things that they actually liked. So I really took advantage of the fashion challenge, and they had a really social media app on there called InstaTrend, where I had to look through several trend predictions and overall had to decide which kind of products to make. And also another thing in my virtual business challenge that I also learned from my childhood slime business was choosing colors based on trends and seasons. For example, during Valentine's Day, I focused on pink and red slimes, but during Christmas season, I would do red and green slimes to match a holiday spirit. The same thing ties into my virtual business challenge, where I didn't know at the time, but fashion retailers did the exact same thing. They read seasonal trends and adjusted their inventory to match what customers were already excited about. So in Virtual Business Challenge, I really took advantage of the InstaTrend app where I looked at the customer reactions through likes and comments and saw what they actually liked and what they wanted to see based on what season it was or what was trending at the time. Major skills in both experiences include recognizing demand patterns and understanding why timing matters. In my slime business, I noticed that certain products would fly off the shelf one week and sit untouched the next, and I learned to pay attention to the small little details. BBC formalized that insights through sales data and showed me how sales data actually is affected on what people actually want and what they actually buy. So I made sure that I really checked the social media app and would really create products that were similar color or style to really increase my sales numbers and to attract more customers into my store. And timing obviously mattered because timing in that challenge it changed every day, and products change every day, and time really by fast. So timing was everything. Spot a trend early, and your profit was you could see your profit increase, but in this the wrong one, and you're stuck with excess inventory. Wait too long, and the opportunity passed. Every decision came back to the same discipline. Analyze your sales data, watch what your Insta trend is telling you, and move on with intention. Also, another thing that I learned in my slime challenge that really connected to virtual business was pop-up stand experience, and BBC calls it as storefront management. I learned presentation matters. But if it wasn't selling, I moved it to the front, reposition it, or find a way to make it more attractive. In BBC Fashion, I applied that same logic to managing the store layout and making sure high-performing items were prominently featured to draw customers in and keep them engaged. As seen above, you can see in my pop-up scene idea, I used pop-up scene ideas and I kept on making a similar color theme that would really match with my business and overall design that I made. In ABC Fashion, I would definitely make sure to highlight the products that were doing well and that customers really wanted based on those trend predictions that I saw in the Instagram app. Pricing was another skill that I developed through both experiences. With slime, I had to calculate the cost of the glue, activator, add-ins, and containers, and then price my products high enough to actually make a profit, but make it affordable for my kids to buy. BBC built on that foundation by introducing me to formal areas like markup, margin, and markdowns. For example, on G's that weren't doing so well, I put a markdown on them so that people had a deal and they could be more encouraged to buy them. In fact, a study by Precinct showed that 90% of the consumers invest their time to find the best online deals. So for BBC Fashion, I really made sure that I stuck to current trends and overall made my prices match up with customer expectations. If a product was doing too well, I would mark it down to make it more affordable. But if a product was doing really, really well, I make sure to slightly increase the price so that way I could make more profit. Knowing when to mark down slow-moving inventory to recover costs rather than let it sit is a real business decision, and practicing in the simulation made it feel a lot less abstract. Finally, one new skill I gained through BBC that my slime business never fully explored is social media marketing. Obviously, back then I was only 7, so I didn't have little to no access to social media. But if I were to start a business again, I definitely know to use social media because it's something that BBC taught me well. Back through BBC, I learned how driving traffic and sales really depended on social media, especially nowadays. Everything is virtual, almost everything, and social media is growing every day. So I would really make sure to use that Instagram app. I highlighted trending clothing in real time and saw what customers were saying. So that way I could really profit off my business and make products that really match up with Instagram expectations and what really went along in colors or styles. Overall, DECA BBC Fashion helped me take the lessons I learned at a young age and apply them in a more structured, data-driven environment. It taught me lessons like trend forecasting, resource allocation, and strategic decision making, which I didn't even know back then, but now for virtual business, I see it from a new point of view and see how I can use them in a real business world. Looking back, I'm grateful that a childhood hobby gave me a head start on skills that I didn't have a name for yet. Knowledge Matters Virtual Business Challenge in Fashion gave me the vocabulary, the framework, and the data to understand why those instincts worked and how I can use them in the real world. And now that I think about business, I really know what to do, such as trend forecasting, using of social media, and overall new skills that I was taught in the Virtual Business Challenge that shaped my way and how I see DECA and business for my time now and beyond. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Knowledge Matters for providing an opportunity for me to manage a business through a real life lens, helping me understand how slime went to strategy and how new opportunities for virtual businesses could help me succeed in the future. Thank you so much.